Hello, everyone. Welcome to Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen. This is a one-shot, possibly two-shot adventure. We are going to be featuring the very beginning of this brand new book that is coming out on December 6th in its full release. I'm very happy to introduce to you all these lovely folks at the table, but before we do, I would like to give a shout out to our Patreons. If you want to see what you can get for being a Patreon at this channel, please check out that link there. They fund all of our one-shots, two-shots, marathons, everything that we do here. Without their support, none of these things would be possible. We also have a YouTube. You can find all of our previous episodes of all of our campaigns and special events over there. And also shout out to Epidemic Sound, royalty-free music at epidemicsound.com. We are also featuring Kevin McLeod, found at incompetech.com. All right, we're going to go around. I'm going to introduce all these lovely folks here before we jump into this awesome adventure. Why don't you tell me who you are, where we can find you, and give us a little spicy something fun about your character. And we'll start off with Drac.
Hi, I'm Drac or Draconics. I use he, they pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at Draconics. That's DRAKONIQUES. I'm a TTRPG performer, writer, producer, anything else that's TTRPG related. If I haven't done it before, I'm going to at some point, so I'm going to take that title now. Where you can find me, I stream all over the place, so just follow me on Twitter. That's honestly the best place to figure out what I'm doing at any given moment. I'm going to be playing Carnifex. Some people might recognize the name, but I've changed and tweaked a couple of things about them, but it's still mostly the Carnifex you know and love. They are a Goliath Hexblade Warlock, and something spicy about their character. Their favorite food is, I think that it's they like spice. I think they like anything spicy. I know it's a spicy fact and that's literally spicy. That's just a coincidence, but I think they legitimately like really spicy foods. To the point where anything that isn't spicy, they kind of consider it terrible and it would add spices to anything and everything.
Okay, good to know. Thank you very much. Next, we're going to jump over to Fawn.
Hi, my name is Jazz or Fawn. I go by Fawn in games in most places online. I am a queer Canadian non-binary variety streamer. I'm a streamy. And that's when you go on early all the time. You're a little preemie streamy. No, I do TTRPG streams when I can. I do production and I have written some games, but I got to do some more of that. And yeah, I am playing Kupo today, who is a Kender. It's, I think, my first bard. I think I've never done a bard before, so not nervous at all. Nope, not me. And yeah, Kupo's pronouns are they, them. My pronouns are they, them. And something spicy. Kupo learned some of their skills, not all of their skills, from someone we're going to meet today and maybe someone in the party. But before that, they lived on the street. They are urchin background, so they don't actually know a lot about, Kenders. They are Kender, and they don't know a lot about that, and they kind of, they don't know exactly all their deets. They don't know their own deets.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We're going to hop on over to C.
Hey y'all, my name is C. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at PieSharpArt or CPlays, generally speaking. Check me out over there if you want to see what I do. I am also a co-producer and cast member over on Transplanar RPG with the lovely Austin. And that is my main squeeze of TTRPGs, but I am guesting and performing in it lots and lots of other things. So if you want to see what I'm doing at any given time, check me out over on my Twitter, and see where I am week to week. I am playing Muse tonight, who also uses they, them pronouns, who is an Earth Ganassi warlock, archfey patron, who is styled after a painter and looks literally like a marble statue come to life. And a fun fact about them is that their patron gave them top surgery. You ever give a rock top surgery? I think it's kind of cool. So that's just that.
Cool. Whoa,
I love it.
That's actually really cool.
That's amazing. Thank you so much.
That's my gender, and I'll take it for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And last but certainly not least, finally, I get to play with you, Austin.
Hey, first, before I say all my stuff, what if someone said yes to that answer? See, what if you're like, you ever given a rock top surgery? And you're like, yes.
Yes.
Like, now what? Now you're.
I would want to
Wow.
meet you. I want to meet you. If you've given a rock top surgery, I want to meet you. Slide into my DMs.
Like, what does that mean? Hey everyone, my name is Austin. My pronouns are he, they, she. You can find me over on Twitter at SailorScudawson. It's at Sailor. Sorry, C-Scup. Find me over at Twitter. It's SailorScudawson. It's at Sailor SCT Austin because Twitter hates me personally, won't give me enough character counts to fill up my profile name. I am an award-winning game designer, writer, performer, and friend. Tonight I'm be playing Valanthe. Red Shield. Valanthe is a Astral elf battle master fighter. As we are saying all of the things, Valenthe's pronouns are she, they, and some fun fact about her. I don't like fun.
Oh. Valanthe is gonna fit in perfectly because we're gonna be playing a game where a bunch of terrible things happen. Speaking of which, thank you so much. We're gonna go ahead and jump right into it. So please join me on this adventure. I'm gonna click a few buttons. The world has ended, and it's ending again. 300 years ago, the cataclysm brought ruin to the world of Krynn. In a single day, an age of wonders came to an end. Countless innocents died, the face of the world was reshaped, and the gods themselves faded into legend. Through ages of struggle, the peoples of Krynn survived, but the world isn't what it was. Those nations that remain linger in the shadows of their ancestors' wonders. Only slowly have they begun to push back centuries of darkness and rediscover how the world has changed. Then came the Dragon Armies, legions of soldiers devoted to the wicked god, Takhisis the Dragon Queen, and the world faces ruin once more. The War of the Lance has begun, and in a conflict between gods and dragons, a wounded world hangs in the balance. Our story tonight, however, begins with a letter. Dear friend, I am Becklin Uthviharen. I've heard so much about you from our mutual friend, Ispin Greenshield. It grieves me to share the news that our dear friend Ispin passed away peacefully here in his home in Volgar. May fortune and the old gods protect his soul. Ispin's friends are holding a memorial for him in the manner he always wanted. It will take place here in Volgar on the eve of the Kingfisher Festival. I write to ask you to do Ispin one last honor and attend. Should you come, accommodations will be available at the Brass Crab. Though the circumstances are sad, I am eager to meet you and, through our memories, to revel in the life of our great friend. Signed, Becklin Uthviharen, Knight of the Crown. Each one of you have received this letter, and you received it some time ago. As you are making your way towards the accommodations and the paths that will take you eventually to Volgar, we have two particular events that happen along the way. Carnifex and Muse. The two of you are aspiring you wish to join the mages. And so you two are currently on a path, making your way towards a tower. It is here that you will be tested, and your path will begin. As you're moving, you are both bathing in moonlight. In fact, it is brightest tonight. The 3 moons have aligned, so you are completely illuminated. What do we see when we gaze upon you, Carnifex, as you move alongside Muse?
You see a towering person, a Goliath, built. You can tell from they have incredible muscle mass, but you can tell that it was not from weightlifting or anything like that, but from just physical labor, from swinging their sword constantly, or from the training drills of running up and down with heavy armor or medium armor on. They're dark skinned with long white hair that drapes down to almost the middle of their back, icy blue eyes, and currently wearing breastplate armor, which is scratched. You've seen a lot of wear and tear despite not having seen I guess life-threatening battle just yet. And right now is back straight, no nonsense, kind of keeping a constant pace towards this tower, because I believe not long after this we're going to have to go to the funeral, so they're kind of making their way so they don't end up late and don't end up pushing back further plans. And every so often you can see that they're looking back or forward. I'm not going to decide where Muse is, but looking towards Muse to see where exactly they are.
And the camera
And they use any and all pronouns. I forgot to actually mention that at the beginning. Carnifex uses all pronouns, so whatever you want to call him, he's fine.
Thank you. As we look past her, we see Muse. Muse, what do you look like tonight?
Muse is a soft kind of person. Funny because they are literally made out of stone. They look like a marble statue from a garden come to life. They have slate gray skin, kind of shot through with these veins of brighter white, and the texture of their skin is that, literally stone. Their face is carved, angular, masculine, and soft in all ways. Their hair, too, in that odd way that marble does sometimes look soft, even kind of billows down around them as they walk, though it doesn't necessarily move in the breeze. And their clothes, too, softly draping long robes that come down and reveal little carved out portions of stone underneath their pectoral muscles, top surgery scars. And they walk with a kind of quiet elegance, though they are literally made of stone. They don't seem to make a ripple in the world around them. Like they pass through it like a ghost. And their eyes are turned upward toward the moon, and they too are flat. You don't really see any pupils in their eyes, no irises. It's like a flat stone. But there is a sense of looking, as Carnifex, I think, looks over at them one more time, and their eyes flick from the moon up to this person's face, and a kind of soft smile comes over their features, almost lights them up from the inside out. And they say, "Carnifex, it is rather wonderful that we were able to meet like this. I thought we would be meeting at the funeral, but I find these much more preferable circumstances to be seeing you after so long."
Yes. Though it is sad still having the news of what happened to Ispin. I can't say it's not pleasant to see you again, Muse.
Ever the flatterer, aren't you?
I just tell the truth. And he looks away as he continues. They continue to walk.
The two of you.
Kind and noble. Sorry, go ahead.
Tonight is an important night. You are approaching the Barb, a centuries-old spire where promising apprentice mages go to test their magic. Ahead, a jagged, half-ruined spire of grey stone. You know that many who aspire to join the mages of high sorcery have come here to prove their magical proficiency. Ahead, there are others, like you, that seek this path. The barb is usually nothing more than a ruin, its construction predating the cataclysm. But tonight, on this night, the night of the Eye, when the 3 moons of Krynn align, the ruin is alive with magic once more. You see soft light shining from the archway leading into the structure. As you join the others, you see that the arch opens into a large atrium, lit with flaming sconces and adorned by grand tapestries depicting the 3 moons of Krynn. Doors circle the room. The light of the moons cascade through the broad windows above, and in the very center is a serene-looking woman with long gray hair and red robes. She nods as you enter. You see that she is escorting individuals to the various doors, and they seem to be moving in packs of 2. She opens the door, they step through, and she closes it behind them. She begins to make her way towards the 2 of you. It is good that you are here. Are you prepared to undergo the trial?
Carnifex takes a deep breath and nods. Yes.
Muse almost watches Carnifex first for her answer before they also turn to this person, incline their head. Yes, I'm quite ready. Thank you.
Rowena nods and says, to pass tonight's test, you must face a trial inside of one of these rooms. It is accessible only tonight. The trial will require magical talent, but it will not carry any of the dangers of the test of high sorcery, the true means of determining whether or not you will join the order. This is merely a foundation. The goal here is to complete the challenge presented in the room. I will say that each room has a different challenge, and you have until the night ends, at which point the room will vanish and it will expel you outside. She gestures to 3 doors that have not yet been taken. The one on the left, the one in the middle, the one on the right. They do not have any discerning characteristics that tell one from the other apart.
Carnifex will look to Muse. Do you have a preference?
Muse? An artist should always have a preference, don't you think? And Muse kind of looks at all 3 doors. The one on the left calls to me. I don't know why.
Then the one on the left.
You see Rowena almost gliding across the stone floor here, stepping over rubble and ruin, as she moves to the left door, opens it, and thrusts it open for you.
I will walk in first.
Muse follows close behind.
The door quietly closes behind you. You see that you enter into a wide rotunda with black stone floor, and the walls are carved with elaborate runes that glow all around you. The interior is empty except for a single pedestal in the center of the very room. On top of this pedestal, you see a golden ornate key, somehow impossibly balancing on its tip. As you hear the sound of the door closing behind you, if you happen to look, you see the door vanishes. And opposite from you, on the other side of the pillar, you see a new door, identical to the one behind you, appear. It is closed.
This does seem rather foundational, if it's just to take that key to that door. I assume something more will be visiting us quite soon.
Yes, you probably should get ready just in case that is what happens.
You'll be able to take care of us, won't you?
When haven't I? And
Exactly.
I will reach out and I'm going to just summon my packed weapon. As I mutter under my breath, you see a black mist pour out of my mouth, and at first it's amorphous and it begins to take shape in my hand. And Muse would know this. Obviously, Carnifex does, since it's his magic, his pact. But the weapon he summons, he's never sure what it's going to be. It seems to be whatever is needed at the moment. He ends up finding out how it is necessary at that moment, but he never plans it. And as he reaches out, it takes the shape of a spear. The shaft is onyx black. The blade at the tip is just as pitch black, but it has a iridescent sheen to it as he slams it down and readies himself as he slowly walks forward.
Okay.
Muse, I think, from like the folds of their clothes, brings out a paintbrush, funny enough, and a palette, which acts as their spell book and their wand. And they kind of watch Carnifex go, and they almost like lean back, like they're studying something, like they're watching some kind of beautiful scene play out that they're about to bring to life in their work. And they watch Carnifex go for a few moments before they follow suit.
Carnifex, you find that within 5 feet in front of you, as you move forward, there is an invisible wall. I'll say that with your slow and deliberate movement, you're able to feel it before you smash into it.
Okay. And I kind of sheath, for lack of a better term. I don't know if that's what you do with spears, but I sheath my spear at my back and just feel around to see if it keeps going. And I just say over my shoulder, an invisible wall. I think it's safe to assume that maybe we won't be meeting a creature here, but navigating this.
That is rather interesting, isn't it? And Muse will come forward as well and like trace their finger along the long side of the wall.
Okay. You do feel that the wall here is very solid, though you can see through it, it is impenetrable. You get the sense that from the way that it curves, that it is quite large. This room is about 100 feet in diameter, and you have met only the edge of it.
Perhaps it's a bit like an onion. Many layers within.
Actually, yes. And there might be a way to see that. Give you a moment. And I want to cast, because there has to be some kind of magic shielding this. Can I cast would detect magic let me see this?
What does it look like when you cast detect magic?
As I mutter under my breath, I speak in giant, the language, and it feels, I think giant is not just a language, but it's also like the base of the words you're saying has extra meaning to it. And I think as as they speak, anyone around, it can feel like the base of their gut vibrating and moving, almost like there are some kind of just pure bass is coming out of Carnifex's mouth. And slowly from the bottom up, the eyes start to almost like filling up with water, but inky black to the point where you can't see anything. It's just pure black eyes. And they look around and everything, I think, should glow with a type of magic that is being cast on
You
it.
absolutely see the walls around you, and instantly you're able to discern this is a maze. Also, what catches your eye are the runes that are inscribed near the ceiling all the way around the room. They glow with magic, and you get the sense that it is a spell of some kind. But with your detect magic eyes on, you get the sense that you can easily navigate this maze.
Okay, I see. Without looking away from the wall, I'm going to reach my hand out for Muse's.
Muse's hand, cold, fits into yours, and they follow wordlessly.
Within minutes, you reach the center of the room, and you see the pedestal and the key.
No, that was rather simple, so I might more to this section.
If it's okay with you, GM, I think as they were going, Muse had kind of taken their paintbrush and had started to draw the path that Carnifex and them were taking, like on their arm, like just being like, okay, we go forward and then we make a left. When they look down at the path, is it like a runic inscription or a symbol that's recognizable of some kind?
I will say that as you do this, you discern pretty quickly that it is just random.
Fair enough. Well, at least they're not hiding any messages in here for us. That person back there did say that it was a foundational sort of challenge. I wonder what would happen. And Muse, you've known them for long enough that you know when they get this, like a flash of hunger on this stony face, where there is literally nothing in the world that can stop them. I wonder what would happen if we just reached out and they grab it. Like without another word, they take the key.
At the same time, they don't even look at Muse because they know it's not going to work, but they just go, Muse, no, and just see that you've already done it.
Muse, you take the key and there's no resistance at all. In your hand, you feel the key and it is very ornately carved. It seems to have been created by a master craftsman. It is weighty and you get the sense that it is truly made of gold. Carnifex, with your detect magic eyes still on, you see the walls all around you, the invisible ones, just immediately disappear.
The walls disappeared.
What kind of them? And Muse kind of goes forward, their like stony robes kind of billowing out behind them as they kind of trot down this little dais and start heading toward the door, seemingly without a care in the world.
Whereas Carnifex has all of the care and he's like, has their spear ready and just looking around as they follow closely behind Muse.
You easily cross the floor here and you are now standing in front of the door. You see that it does take a key.
And Muse looks at this very fine key, like of craftsmanship. I think it could use just a little bit of personality. And I think they take their paintbrush and they paint like one long, let's see, blue stripe for Carnifex's eyes up the side of it and down the other side. And I'm doing that and casting Encode Thoughts, funny enough, which allows me to pull a memory, idea, or message from my mind and transform it into a tangible string of glowing energy called a thought strand, which will kind of just exist. But what I want to do is kind of pull just on the memory of Muse unlocking and opening a door. Like, they've done it 1,000 times, and they say, this is what you're supposed to do, little key. This is the memory of your purpose that I'm painting on you. And then they put the key into... Does the door have a keyhole? And Muse places the key with that kind of thought wrapped around in the blue paint and turns the lock.
As Muse turns the key, Carnifex, you see the glow on the runes. They all disappear as if they have been turned off. The door clicks loudly. You can feel the mechanical insides of the lock here being manipulated with the weight of the key, and the door swings open. You see Rovina standing in the center of the atrium. They turn to look towards you, and they bow their head.
Look at what we can accomplish together, my dear Carnifex.
Yes, great many things. So this was... Is this all? I turn to Rovina.
As the two of you exit, do you want to keep the key, Muse?
Yes, I think Muse would keep the key.
As you approach, you see Rovina begins to produce something from the folds of her robe, and she says, "Congratulations. You have both completed the challenge, and your apprenticeship is now complete. You are ready to take the next step on the path of becoming a member of the Mages of High Sorcery. Before you go, I have a gift for you." You see, she pulls out what appears to be 2 books. Art. Show picture.
Art. Oh.
You can see that there are jewels encrusted into the front of it. It is a weighty leather tome with golden embellishments, and the 3 jewels represent the 3 colors of orders in the Mages of High Sorcery. This is a gift to represent what can be and what you go through. You may use it as a spellbook if you please. You may use it as a journal. It is simply yours, and it is the start of your journey. And this, she reaches again into her robes and produces 2 scrolls. This is your next task. You will be given instructions. Take this to an individual named Wyhan in Kalaman. You would know that Kalaman is the largest city in the area, and you know that it is conveniently very close to Volgar.
So it seems we'll be on the road together for a few days more.
I don't. Seems like a pleasant turn of events.
Couldn't agree more.
Take heed. You must not open these scrolls under any circumstances. The contents are for Wyhan alone. You will find with Wyhan the next step on your journey.
Does anything come off of them with my detect magic still going?
Yeah, you see that the spellbook is not magic, but the scrolls are magic. They are enchanted with enchantment magic.
Okay.
And you also see a few baubles and trinkets kind of glowing on Rovina, but nothing suspicious.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd be surprised if they didn't have any magical little trinkets going on. I take both the book and the scroll, at least my ones, with both hands, almost like reverently, and say thank you, and stash them away. And I think I kind of thumb my finger over the black gem on the book before putting that away over in my satchel.
Muse, on the other hand, I think takes the book first and kind of like traces their finger along and like almost passes it like through each gem as though they're trying to bleed the colors into each other with their finger. They look down at it and smile and then look back up at our mentor here and they say, I was needing a new sketchbook. And they take the scroll as well.
Excellent. Congratulations, and please be very careful out on the road. Good luck.
Don't worry. Carnifex is always careful. Enough for the both of us.
I think there's Carnifex kind of, for the most part, Carnifex has a very slight smile or straight face on. That's mostly the range that expressions go. But I think there's a bit more of a smile and a, I guess, playful eye roll at that before they could look to Muse and then begin to head out.
The 2 of you enter twilight, and we see the scene fade to black. Meanwhile, in another part of the world, Kupo and our dear Valanthe. The 2 of you happened to meet each other on the road. You are both headed in the direction of Volgar. It is a lonely forest path. You haven't really met anyone along the way here, and it is currently midday. What do we see when we see Kupo?
So we're already together at
Yes.
this point, correct? I think you would hear Kupo before you see Kupo, because Kupo has out their loot, and I think Valanthe is used to this. They are, at the very least, strumming and humming, and maybe like testing words to a new song of a story they think that more people need to hear or know about. And even though they're very small, as Kupo is a Kender, they somehow move their tiny little legs 3 times as fast as most would, to be able to not only keep up with, but perhaps nearly dance around their traveling companion as they make the journey more fun for both of them. They think, in their mind, they're helping.
And the camera pans over to Kupo's companion. What do you look like?
Yeah, so Valanthe. I looked up how to say my name, everybody. I'm really good at this game. Valanthe is, it's an early Astral. She has this like dark complexion. Excuse me. She has very, it's like up in like a super mega bun, but you can tell like very long hair that's like up in this bun because she's like traveling and may have to fight and stuff. It's like these pink braids that are like long and then up in this big bun on the back of her head. I feel like pretty tall stature, but like pretty slim build overall. In this beautiful, like pristine, there's not like a speck of dust, there's no blood, there's no ding, there's not a scratch, like red and gold armor, and these high cheekbones, and these like, the white part of your eye is the iris, but the
Sclera. The white part is sclera.
Scalera.
her
Yeah.
sclera is black, and then her pupils are like dazzling red, and she's walking so straight faced, like staring ahead. Hello, Kupo.
So excited. So excited. Are you so excited for traveling together again? It's
No,
been
this
a while.
is-
I don't know
yes.
how I don't even remember how we ended up splitting up last time.
No, it was. I went into that. It's weird, right? Who knows what happened?
Yeah, I swear 1 second we were together and then boom, you were gone.
Yeah. I have no idea. Your guess is as good as. Must have been magic.
Yeah, well, lucky day. We're back together again.
Yes. Lovely. I assume you're traveling for Ispin.
Yes. Obviously. It's not for the best reason, but I think Ispin would be happy that we're back together too. He's the one that, introduced us in the first place.
I will give you that one. Ispin is probably happy somewhere that you have found me again.
I think
I think
as
so.
you say that, all of a sudden, the two of you hear a shrill cry. You see down the road, careening around the corner, is a young man, and he says, "Please help me, please!" You see him rushing forward. He hits the ground and he scrambles back up to his feet. He races towards you.
The landfall closed the distance. I start racing towards him.
goes well.
You see that this young man has a mop of golden red hair, and from his expression, he is absolutely terrified. You see that he's shaking in his boots, and he almost falls to his knees in front of you. There's he begins to plead frantically.
Catch your breath. Okay. In, out. Okay. Up and out with it.
Oh, I thought they were chasing me. I work at a nearby farm, and I saw some strangers. They beset upon us. I was hired by a group of soldiers to travel with them and to care for their horses. I don't know much about the soldiers, but enemy troops were supposedly about the region, and someone had to care for the horses, and just moments ago, we were attacked by figures in cloaks. I didn't get a good look at them.
So they attacked the horses?
No, they attacked the soldiers.
Oh. That makes a lot more sense.
Please, you have to go help them.
How many?
I don't know. I hid in the brush, and I tried to escape while the soldiers fought them off. I couldn't do anything in a fight.
No, you're right. You wait here. Kupo, stay close. And Valanthe will take out of their pack their helm as they have full plate on and put their helm on that is like full face covered, and it has this like ornate rose design on the front of it.
Action time. Let's go.
All right.
Go
ahead.
Yeah, you start moving. You just start moving.
Okay. The two of you quickly move forward, and you can see that the road about half a mile down bends to the right. And there you can see that there is a fallen cart, a caravan that's been broken down. You see as you approach that the wrecked wagon lies toppled and is surrounded by armored corpses. There are strange, hulking figures picking through the remains. They don't seem to notice you quite yet. From beneath the figures' dark cloaks, you can see scaly wings and sharp reptilian features. Art.
How many of these figures are like... So there are people that look like they've expired, and then there are people like going through their stuff?
Yeah.
essentially?
Oops. You can see that there are a couple of people crumpled on the ground. They are very heavily armored, and you see that there are about 5 of these cloaked figures.
Okay. All right, Kupo. So, remember what we've practiced. You do your best to not get hurt, and I will try and draw their fire while you pick off the ones you can.
Great plan. Definitely ready.
Can I get a religion check from the both of you as you're beginning to sneak your way forward?
I'm a bard. I have jack of all trades. So even things I'm bad at, I'm a little bit good at. That's still a -1.
Don't worry. I got a 16.
Excellent. Okay. You can see as you gaze over that the armor that these raiders are wearing is emblazoned with the symbol of Takhisis, which is the Dragon Queen.
So, Kupo, it seems that, well, I think our neighbors are doing some expanding.
Oh. I mean, do they have all the necessary permits?
No, actually the exact opposite. They don't have any permits and will be taking what they see fit.
That seems like against all the rules. I don't know.
Do you
I don't know.
have a ranged weapon on you?
Range. I mean, I have this, and I point to my loot.
Right. I hand you a light crossbow.
Ooh.
I take out my sword and shield. I need to be very clear. I do not plan on sneaking. I will be running straight at
Okay,
these people.
thank you. Yep, that was going to be my next question.
I will not speak for Kupo. I plan on moving away from Kupo and running at these people.
Yeah, your heavy armor here clatters and clambers loudly, announcing your approach. Kupo, what are you doing here?
Kupo watches. I mean, Kupo will engage,
No,
but
that's
not
perfect.
immediately.
No,
Like,
that's smart. You're being smart. I'm not being smart. You're good.
Okay. Valanthe, as you are charging forward, do you want to do like a real cool one-liner or yell?
Yeah, I shout. I am Valanthe Redshield of the Knights of Solamnia. I will give you one chance to leave here with your lives, and this is it. And I put a line in the dirt.
You see all of their heads immediately jut up from their various investigations of the cargo here. You see that one of them towards the back, a little larger than the others, begins to snap its maw, and you see these very many fanged teeth, and you see their saliva dripping from between them and just kind of hitting the ground here. There's a bit of a hissing sound as it meets the dirt. It turns to its companions and it says,
I sure by stay still.
and it begins to flee. And the four remaining lift up their various weapons and begin to charge towards you. As they're closing the distance, you realize you might be outnumbered here, and they might be a little more than you can handle on your own. Kupo, what do you do when you see this happening?
so, Valanthe goes in, and when she engages, one of them gives that order and takes
Mhm.
off. Since she just handed me this crossbow, I mean, what if I maybe just shot at the one that was trying to fly away? What,
Uh-huh.
it seems like.
Go ahead and give me a roll here. Just roll your dexterity just to expedite things.
I'm gonna have well, I have rolled. It's rolling on roll 20, and no, not roll 20. In D&D Beyond, that was a
Okay.
7
Uh,
to hit. A 7
You
to hit.
point the crossbow and you let it go, and you see it cut through the air, whistling, and it embeds into the ground right in front of the creature. It stops, it turns, and it looks at you dead in the eyes, and it says,
I will be back to loot your corpse.
and then it continues running.
I mean, I have a lot of cool stuff, so I totally get that. Like,
No, I get it. My stuff is
I
dope.
get it. Like,
Meanwhile, as this is happening, Valanthe is like, yo, like fighting 4 of these. Go ahead and roll me a Constitution saving throw here, Valanthe. We'll see how well you do.
Natural 20.
Awesome, amazing. All of your accumulated experience and training is flourishing in this moment. You are somehow able to parry and dodge every blade and attack of these 4 creatures, but you feel that even with all of your strength, you are simply outnumbered and they are beginning to hound on you. Just as you feel that you are about to lose your upper hand here, you hear a variety of sounds coming from behind you, the clambering of metal and the shouts of folk. As they begin to rush towards you, you can see that they appear to be mercenaries or just humble adventurers like you. They are rushing towards your aid. And with this, the four that have engaged with you begin to scatter and flee. Go ahead and roll me an attack roll here. Let's see if you can get one of them real good.
I would like to, from my place back here, I would like to use silvery barbs, which gives a negative to the enemy and a positive to my friend.
Awesome.
Like,
how is a 20?
Oh my god, what the heck?
Valanthe is good at one thing, and that is killing stuff and not getting killed.
Go ahead and roll again just to see if you get the nat 20.
Oh, sick, yeah. I do. 26. I rolled a 19.
Okay. Wow, so you got a nat 20? Alright, how much damage does that do?
Do you have any special nat 20 rules?
It's whatever you want. The rules don't matter. Do you do more than 22 damage?
Let's maybe, actually. No, I do 20.
Okay. You drive...
Oh, wait. No, I do, because I have a feat with my... I can add a d8, so I will do that. I do 24.
Awesome. Tell me how you slay this creature.
I think as they, kind of, turn to curtail, I say, I said you had one chance. And I leap forward and lunge through the back of one, through their chest, and look at the ones over it. I'll get the rest of you later. And just push it to the ground.
You hear a heavy thump as this body hits the ground, and an unearthly cry erupts from it as it gargles on blood here, and it slumps and its tongue lolls out into the dirt. You have defeated one of these strange dragon-like beings. We see the camera begin to slowly pull away as the two of you are gathered close here, and the mercenaries, the adventurers, they join you, and the immediate threat has been disengaged with at the moment, but you see that unfortunately the soldiers here who hired the boy have all perished, and they are beyond the aid of any kind of magic.
Do I say to these other folk who showed up, do any of you have any idea what they were doing?
Well, the boy back at the crossroads, they said that they came upon the caravan, and from the look of it, it looks as if they were trying to take some goods here. Did you find anything here yourselves? Would you mind helping us look?
Sure. Kupo, you can come down.
Kupo, in the seconds that followed, was already writing down details of 1 second. I just need to get down. That thing you did was that one liner. Oh my god! I just need to hang on 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I'm here. Yeah. What's up?
Come help us look through this stuff.
Oh yeah.
Okay. I do believe that Valanthe is one that wishes to spend many a time with the core Knights of Solamnia. Is that correct? Yeah, as soon as the two of you begin to investigate the people who've been murdered here, you can see that these soldiers are in fact Knights of Solamnia, and you're able to discern just from a glance that that is probably why they were immediately attacked. And perhaps the looting was just a mere spoil.
Well, and I look back at the mercenaries. You'll want to return to your homes or let locals know that it seems Takhisis will be making some headway into this area. You'll want to fortify if you have contact with the Knights of Solamnia, I would recommend sending word that you'll need aid.
Yes, very good. And as you begin to like look through their pockets to try to find identification, you also see that there are several reports of nearby farmsteads being raided by strange creatures that match the description of that you have slain. And you have literal correspondence now in your hand.
Kupo, you don't have a way to get a message to anyone quickly, do you?
Just running really, really fast.
No, I know you're very fast, but that's
Okay.
quite all right. I'm frankly glad I ran into you. It's just stay with me. It's gonna be really dangerous out here.
Of course. I'm not going anywhere. Except where we're both going.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
The boy joins you here and says, well, perhaps I can join you. The direction that you were going, it seems you are headed to Olger?
Yes. Do you have family there? Somewhere you can
Yes,
go?
yes, I live there. If it's all right with you, I'd like to join you. Safety in numbers, perhaps.
Certainly. You said there were horses?
Yes. The horses are unharmed. There are... Hold on, let me pull up the picture. Where'd the picture go?
Horses.
Let's go, horse go arc.
Horse girl arc. Horse girl
There's
arc.
two horses, and they're just chewing on some grass off to their side.
Kupo, you good for horse?
Well, I can ride with either you or you
That's
or
how I was
either of you.
stating that. Yeah, you can ride with me.
Okay, perfect. And I turn to the boy, and so had you worked with these soldiers before? Was it your first time working with them? Do you know them really well? Do you know what they were sort of doing? And then I'm gonna cast Detect Thoughts because I want to double check that like there's no nonsense happening here. So I like ask that question to his face, and then I'm gonna surface level Detect Thoughts.
Sounds good. What does this magic look like if it manifests in any way?
Kupo, it's the sort of thing where like if there is a visual effect, like when it is something that like when Kupo wants to make a show of it, there is like literal like almost musical notes coming out of their mouth that kind of sparkle, but in this case they are instead kind of weaving a hand behind their back, and you would see little sparks kind of flying, almost electrically blue, and so instead they're like making a show like a magician would do, like distracting in the front while like doing something behind so that no one would notice.
The boy absolutely doesn't seem to notice. He begins to tell you, well, they just needed someone to look after the horses. You see, Bertha over here threw a shoe, and I had to nurse them for some time, and I just, I really wanted to make sure that they would be all right, and we were just headed down the road, and he begins to tell you an account of essentially being hired by these knights to just literally take care of the horses, and he truly is from Volgar. And by skimming on the surface level thoughts, there does not seem to be any sort of deceit. You can definitely tell that he is scared out of his mind.
Okay. All right. Okay. So he's got nothing extra for us. So I'm like, cool. But I'm like, cool. Yeah.
He's
that
very
must've been
hungry.
So scary. And then I pull out from my backpack like an apple, and I'm like, you must be, I know when I don't actually get scared because that's a kinder thing. But here you go. And like I hand him an apple.
How did you know? This one's my favorite kind. Honeycrisp. He bites into it. Oh, delicious. Yum.
I think I come up with the horse and the other one like by the rein. And I drop the rein onto the boy, and I put my arm down for Kupo. Come on.
Let's go.
All right. And
Lift him up.
very good.
start to scramble up. Like, even as you're like lifting Kupo up, they're like, oh, like,
Stop squirming.
I'm sorry, I gotta get up.
Hold on. Just hold on.
Adventure! And then I take out something. I take one of my smaller instruments out, probably like a little flute or something. Because it's not loot time on a horse. No, you gotta go like so a flute comes out instead.
I put you down. I'm like, hold on. You immediately put your hands up, and I'm like, okay, just hold on to you.
I love it. You see that with these shenanigans that the young man here seems to settle down a bit, and he smiles as he's chewing on his apple. And we see the screen fade to black. As the group of you begin to make your way towards Volgar, we cascade over the horizon, and words scroll onto the screen that say, "A few days later." That is where we're going to take our break. So please join us in doing a little stretch, grabbing a little snack, and we'll be back in about 5 minutes. BRB! As we return here to the world of Krynn, we see the fishing village of Volgar clinging to a spit of land reaching into the Vingard River. Wooded cliffs overlook the community, and the only path from the north descends past the ivy-covered remnants of a crumbling stone keep. The village's modest wooden buildings cluster around a quaint central circle along the riverbank. Jutting into the river, out of place and seemingly out of time, stands an incomplete stone bridge of incredible artisanship. The structure clearly dates to before the Cataclysm, eclipsing its modern peers in size and sturdiness. The bridge crosses less than the half of the width of the river before giving way to a series of ropes and rafts that serve as ferries. On the river itself, dozens of small boats drift along the slow, murky waters as the fishers of Volgar ply their trade. Some time has passed by, and essentially, you are allowed to do whatever you want here. You get to choose wherever you've been, however long you've been here, and eventually we will have the whole party converge on the Brass Crab. We'll start with Kupo and Valanthe. The two of you have definitely made it here first, and essentially there are a number of different things that could have occupied your time. You see that there are decorations being hung. You know that tonight, later in the evening, is the scheduled funeral for Ispin Greenshield. But the decorations are for the Kingfisher Festival, which, as you've spent time here, seems to be a pretty profound event that happens in this village, something that is tied deeply into its history. You see that the entire village is preparing for that tomorrow. Where do we find Kupo?
I assume we're riding in. Kupo was definitely working on a new song about how badass Valanthe was in that fight. But as they arrive and Kupo remembers why we're here, I think that they put down the flute and, in a little bit more serious. Valanthe, is there anything you're supposed to do or bring to a funeral? I didn't really know a lot of people before Ispin.
No, I mean, some people bring flowers for family and friends, but as you know, we're most of that. So yourself is more than enough, Kupo. This one would be glad you're here.
Kupo already, while you were explaining, it's nice to bring flowers, but you don't have to, Kupo already reached out and stole some from, a bouquet that was nearby, because we're high up on this horse, this is such a good height advantage, people won't even notice, oh, Okay, but these are still nice.
And for
so
some
I'll
reason,
bring
like
them.
a ton of flowers are being hung up everywhere. So it's just kind of there already. Like it's being hung at different varying levels on buildings, on the side of like walls and on top of rocks. Like, why not?
They were extra anyway. And
Please.
you know, it's been deserves some nice flowers. So
Yes, just 1 sec. And I stop the horse and I get off. And I walk like the 10 feet and I explain really quick and I hand the person the gold and then I go back to the horse.
The person's like holding the gold piece, watching you leave. But it was just some weeds. Okay.
I think they're pretty. I did them a service and you paid them.
To Valanthe, what Valanthe is interested in time in is the person we helped get back here. I would like to go to their. I want to go make sure they get home and to talk to whomever their charge is. If it's like a parent or an older sibling or like a best friend or whatever.
Yeah. So you learned that his name is Reese, and Reese tells you that he works at a farm outside of Vulgar, but also spends time at the stables here in the village, and that is where he resides with his parents. And we've been saying boy, but he's like 18. He's a young adult. Boy. I mean, 18 is still boy. So you see that as he's reunited with his family, he throws his arms around them, and there's this moment of jubilation and some confusion from his parents because they're like, why are you back so early? And he explains everything, and the parents look to you with gratitude and tears welling in their eyes. Thank you so much for bringing Reese back home. We had heard rumors, but it's really hard to tell what is truth and what is simply just gossip on the wind, so to speak. There's not been any hard proof of any kind, and you know how fisher folk like to stir the fishbowl.
Yes, I stir the fishbowl. Yes. Well, I'm here to let you know that there is proof. I cleaned the blood off my blade myself. I don't know where we'll be safe. I don't want to send you to a city because I'm sure they'll attack those first, but I do want to tell you to be ready, to have your things in order, and to stay safe.
We will do the best we can. Perhaps you might want to bring this up to Thornwall Keep. It is there that the steward might be able to share this information. I don't know what we should do. And you see that his other mom is like, well, we can't leave the stables. I mean, this is our business. This is our home. We can't just up and go? It's just, that's ridiculous. Nothing's going to happen.
Right. What I'm trying to import onto you, if I may be so frank, I don't think your stable will do much good if you are all encapsulated in terrible dragon fire. I don't think anyone will take care of your stables then.
But you got all these horses, so I mean, like, they do show up. You can get out of here real fast. Like, just like...
That's what I mean. If war shows up on your shores here, just have a go bag.
You see the other parent goes, thank you so much for your heat of warning. You must be tired. Would you care for a meal in my home? I can make some soup and you can take off your boots. Relax by my fire.
I'll keep my things, but... And I look over at Kupo.
Never say no to a free snack.
Yeah, they'll...
Oh, I've just baked a set of fresh fish pies. Please, let me serve them to you. You see her like scuttle inside, and you see a very quaint and it's very homey. You see that there are flowers hanging in the windowsill. There's a number of pies just lining this large farmer table. And you see that there are these like really tiny portraits being hung up on the wall, and it just depicts the various generations of this family that have lived here. And there's children running around screaming and throwing toys at each other and having a good time.
Valanthe will go in. Valanthe takes their helm off, which for Kupo, I have not done during the day since that fight. I've worn it all day, every day. So I'm probably like dirty and sweaty in there. Again, the armor is immaculate. The armor is never dirty. Can't believe it's really coming here.
I mean, isn't this what you would kind of train for? Like, you want to be one of those fancy knights, but obviously better than those ones because those ones are dead. But like, you know, like that, but better. So like, weren't you kind of like, didn't you want to do that? Because stuff like this was coming and you were going to help with?
Yes, I want to protect those who can't protect themselves, a shield for people like this, but I don't want it. It's the kind of job you train for that you hope you never get called in.
That's a little bit confusing. Like, do all that training and your whole life, and then like nothing? Not nothing. You must want like a little bit of fighting. You're really good at it.
I'm excellent at it, you're not wrong, but what I really want is to never have to put this armor on again.
You look really good in it, though.
Thank you.
You're a little sweaty, which I mean, it's not bad. Like kind of like glistening, really. But if you want, I could just, if you.
And Valanthe like gives you like a look. There are kids here.
It's magic. Just
magic. Oh. No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Really.
Like their hand was starting to sparkle, like they were starting to do like prestidigitation, and they're like, okay. And then instead, I think they do something, and then like the color of their hair changes because they're already like started. So now they have like their hair was like red, and now it's like blue, and they're like, okay.
Is at this moment that you hear a startled gasp from what is probably one of the kids from this house. And they're standing in the open doorway, looking out into the street.
You know what I do. I throw my helm back on and see what I mean, and I run out. What is it?
You see that the child is just staring up towards Muse. You're so pretty.
Thank you. They say that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And Muse's eyes flick up to meet Valanthe's helm. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, it's just you. And I can
And I presume Carnifex is close by. The two of you have made your way into the village, and you see much of the same thing, that festivities are under preparation here. There are various carts moving about with their stock full of food and various decorations and flowers, and you weave your way through here, and you've come across this small, adorable home next to the stables, and you recognize two beings inside, sitting themselves down at a table with at least 20 fish pies.
Oh my god. Your Carnifex follows like moments behind Muse, so you see the kid like look up at Muse and look even higher up at Carnifex as they step out from behind.
You're beautiful too.
And oh, why thank you. What's your name?
Alice?
Alice, that's a beautiful name. My name is Carnifex. This is my friend here, Muse.
What does Carnifex mean?
You're How old are you? How old are you?
I'm 3 years old.
3, and I'll take the hand gently with my massive hands and like fold one of the fingers down, so it's actually 3 and not 4, and just go. Well, my name, it means circle of life.
Wow. That's beautiful.
Yes, I see you've made friends of my friends. And I'll wave to Valanthe and Kupo.
You see the child grab your hand and begin to tug you inside.
Oh.
This is Carnifex.
I'll let them take me.
Carnifex is my friend.
Carnifex just has a smile plus on their face, but I don't know about everyone else, but I feel like Muse would know that this is the smile they put on to make sure they don't scare little kids, because I feel like most of the time their resting face is kind of scary. So there's like, I'm not comfortable, but I'm trying to not make this child uncomfortable as they like crouch down so they can
The
actually
mother
hold onto their
comes
hand.
swiftly forward and says, "Oh, you companions, please, please, please. Oh, I must tell you of the wonderful deed that these two fine folk have done. They saved my son. There was an incursion out on the road. Oh, please, sit down. Let me get drinks." And she hurries away, and the kid chases after the mom.
And I think Muse finally steps in through the doorway, and as they kind of just breeze past Carnifex, they glance up out of the corner of their eye and go, "A rather poetic interpretation. I like the truth a little bit better, personally." And they smile and get into one of the seats and kind of like fold their stone clothes over their lap. And they look up at Kupo and smile, this kind of like stony, warm smile, and they say, "Hello. I don't think I've had the pleasure of making your acquaintance. My name is Muse."
Oh no. If we had met, I would have remembered you. It's nice to meet you. Hi. I'm Kupo. Hi.
Kupo, what a beautiful name. And
Thanks,
you're
I made it
traveling with
myself.
Valanthe here. The best names are always self-made. Something taken from the heart and made out of beauty, longing, and desire. There's truly nothing better.
Oh no, it was nothing that fancy. Kupo reaches back and pulls out this, all you can see is fluff. And it's this little white. And I was like, well, I chose it, but I heard him make it first. He made this noise, and I was like, that's great. And the fluff turns around and it's a little white rabbit. It's like this little white. And he was just chewing on something and it sounded squeaky. And so it was like, "Oh," and I was like, perfect. You know, just inspiration. It strikes
As you lift up
sometimes,
this
right?
creature, it goes,
And inspiration does come from the most marvelous places. But it takes a discerning ear to be able to hear such marvelous things in the world. Not many people listen.
I have plenty of that.
So you do. And you found yourself quite a warm friend, haven't you?
I don't know about warm, steely, icy, strong. The strongest, you know, what they were saying out there about what didn't even compare to what actually happened. And Kupo starts reaching for their loot, like they want to.
I put a hand on your. That's really okay. I have not taken my helmet back off.
Oh no, please, darling, I would love to hear the song.
No, really, I'm assuming you're also here for Ispin. I'm not really in the mood for a song.
Perhaps a funeral dirge, then.
Sorry to kill the mood, if you'll excuse me. And Valanthe takes a step outside.
Koopa does strum something sad now, just like,
Carnifex will look to Cooper and just smile and give a little nod. And give a little side eye to Muse. Nothing hostile, anything like that. Just a side eye before going out to follow Valanthe. And I don't think they like look towards you or anything. They'll just stand out in the street as well, kind of looking at the bustling crowd, and just say, "How are you holding up?"
Well, I mean, I do what I do because of my mother. My mother does what she does because she met Ispin, so about as well as you can expect.
Yeah. Yeah, it was too soon.
It is the only for sure thing for any of us. Doesn't make it easier. I'm sure wherever he is doing quite fine, but with what's coming, I would like him to be here for. On the road, we did save the boy Reese, but and I kind of like move in closer. Takhis's troops are in the area,
And even though Carnifex always has more or less a put together demeanor, I wouldn't say stoic. He does smile, he does laugh, but always seems to be calm and collected. There is a moment where he stiffens up in a mixture of fear and concern. They're making moves. Is that who you saved the boy from?
Yes, there were 5 of them. One quite large, clearly commander, ran off. The other 4 were set upon me before reinforcements arrived. I took one down and the rest made their way. They attacked some knights of Solamnia. It seemed seemingly on sight. I'm not sure what they're here to do, but I know it cannot be good. I'm trying to arrange word to be sent to larger forces to try and fortify these outlying borders to nip it in the bud, as it were.
Oh, thank you for your service in protecting this boy and letting the knights know. I will see if I can send word to and I guess above game, would I know, is there any kind of alliance between the High Mages and the Knights of Solamnia, or are they kind of like separate?
They're kind of
Like, how does
separate.
that-
So you know that
Right.
the Knights, the Order of the Knights has been dwindling. Essentially, before the Cataclysm, they were a huge thing. They went around and they essentially were a force of good and served as protectors of the realm, and they were highly praised. And after the Cataclysm, this worldly apocalypse, essentially, the Knights were regarded with a measure of suspicion. There was a lot of, why didn't you stop this? This is your fault kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so they fell out of favor in the general sense of the people of this realm. And so their numbers have dwindled a lot, and they still try to continue to do good and serve people and more or less just embody the virtues of their gods wherever they might be.
Okay. Would this kind of threat be the concern of the Mages of High Sorcery, or is this not really their, I guess, jurisdiction?
So
for lack of a
the
better term?
Mages of High Sorcery also embody virtues of the gods. Their span of
Yeah.
what interests them is a lot wider because the different orders
Yeah.
are literally like, they follow the good gods, the neutral gods, and the evil gods. So yes, in a sense, but also not really.
Yeah, okay. I think at least Carnifex believes the Order of Robes that he hopes to be in would care. So he says, yes, no, I will see if I can send word to any of the orders of the High Mages and see if they can help in any way. The more, the merrier, I guess.
And as you say
Yes.
that, the two of you see someone They are armored just as heavily as you, Valanthe. And they stop and turn towards you. They pull off their helmet, and you see visibly that they are a knight of Solamnia. They're also very, very mommy.
Oh, yeah, they are.
You see someone immediately look to you, almost as if recognizing you, but you've never met this person before. She's dressed in full plate armor, and her horned helmet easily nestles against her breastplate as she comes to a stop. Her metal crunches into place as she turns towards you. Good evening. My name is Becklin.
I remove my helm. Valanthe Redshield.
Yes, I thought so. You would recognize the name Becklin as Becklin Uth Vinharen, who sent you the letter. She bows her head deeply towards you and looks to Carnifex. And yes, I thought so. Isbin gave me descriptions of you and your friends, so I thought it was you.
Yes, one. Kupo! Becklin is here.
Muse?
I believe we're being summoned.
I guess we should go then.
I think maybe the two of them were embroiled in a conversation about like the poeticism of like this line versus this line and Kupo's like upcoming song maybe. And Muse also will get up and head outside.
Ah, this must be Kupo and Muse. Good evening. I am Becklin.
Pleasure.
I wish that we could meet on a better occasion. I offer my condolences to each of you.
Thank you.
You see her kind of stiffen and take in a long breath. Well, I would like to invite you to join me at the Brass Crab if you haven't already made yourselves comfortable. I have accommodations arranged for each of you. Thank you so much for making time to be here.
Of course. Allow us to say our goodbyes. This family's been quite kind to us, and I will be
Yes,
on our way.
of course. And she simply steps out of the way of the main thoroughfare and just kind of stands there looking out.
I don't do a scene. I just say bye to the family and remind them to get a go bag.
Yeah, I also go in to say goodbye, and I kind of like crouch down to Alice and just kind of ruffle their head and just go, I appreciate the hospitality. I thank you. Tell your parents that the fish pies were delicious. Honestly, some of the
Okay.
best I've had.
I do. I
Okay,
find
yeah.
Reese.
You see Reese is currently shoeing a horse in the building next door.
We are on our way, but I wanted to give you
yeah?
something. And I give Reese a dagger with a rose pommel.
Oh. This looks really sharp.
Yes. The next time someone tries to hurt you or your family or your siblings, don't let them.
I won't. I promise you that. Thank you. I won't squander this gift.
Be well. And I leave.
Reese watches you walk away.
Muse is not one to say goodbye. They never have been, and I don't think they ever will be. So I think they actually wait outside with, I've immediately forgotten the NPC's name. Have we noticed that? I'm very bad at it.
I like Muse. I like the idea of Muse looking over at Becklin. What? Who are you? I'm Becklin.
Yeah, Muse also can't
I
remember
just
anyone's name
told
either.
you.
I'm pretty sure your name is Josh.
Oh, yeah, some people call me that. But Becklin will do.
Well, Becklin, how long have you known our
Oh.
dear friend has been?
Most of my life. I've traveled with She almost said Becklin. I've traveled with Isbin almost all of my adventuring career. My time as a Knight of Solamnia. I actually came here with him as a mean of both of us to retire, I suppose.
I suppose that this is the ultimate goal in retirement. A quiet death.
He passed happily here. This was his home. He found a good place.
That is more than can be said for very many people. And perhaps for that we should celebrate.
I intend to make this service as a mean of celebration for Isbin's life, and I will be, of course, encouraging all folk to share over-the-top stories about him, much like he has always shared with us.
Yes, I can remember him quite clearly, talking on and on and on during our portrait sessions, so much so that I had to tell him to stop gesticulating with his hands quite so much. It was ruining the composition.
He was a wily one, Isbin. Well, you are all gathered here. Let's make our way to the brass crab. And the group of you begin to maneuver through the heart of the village here, and you approach the Brass Crab, a modest single-story inn on the village wharf, and you see the exterior vaguely resembles its namesake. You see that as the group of you enter in, there is a faded mural of two enormous crabs locked in combat on the wall, inlaid with brass details. And you see that there is a small nameplate on the bottom that says Fancy and Gorgeous George. You see that there are 4 hallways that branch out in to the left and to the right. And behind the bar is an Ergothian woman. You see that she is dressed quite plainly and is moving about the brass crab quite proficiently. There is a small crowd here, and there is currently a musician playing, and they are playing very, very badly.
Kupo is very torn because Kupo really wants to ask someone the story about the crabs because that has to be such an interesting story. I want to know all about these crabs, who they are, where they came from, what was their journey, who named them Fancy George, like what else is that musician? So I think as we enter, like Kupo probably would have entered in first and just stalled. So if anyone else continued coming, you'd probably have to run into Kupo, who's just stopped and like looking.
I think I like run into Kupo, and I like kind of lean on a little bit. I'll ask about the crabs if you get them to stop playing that god's awful music.
Oh, deal. Like heads
You
right
see
over.
that there is an older gentleman, and he's just like just like strumming terribly on the stringed instrument, and it is very much an ear sore.
Oh, excuse me.
Yes?
Hello, excuse me. And I think, that note was slightly out of tune. Can I maybe help you a little bit? Can I like just show you a little like thing? Like I think.
Oh, you must be new here.
Oh, brand new. I've never been here before in my life. I don't know what's going on. Maybe that song was supposed to sound like that, but as I don't think. I think it could be better.
Oh.
So if I could just.
You think you could be better?
No. I mean, yes, but that's not what I was saying, and I was trying to be nice.
You know what?
But,
Why
I
don't
just
you
think it was
have a
slightly out of
seat?
tune. So
And he gets up, and you can hear his like hip bones. God, I feel that every morning. You can hear like little pop pop as he like stands up, and he gestures to this small stage. Very, very. Yep.
I'm already in it. I'm already like I'm fully, and I'm just like strumming. Like I'm like I just start with like a big like not even playing yet,
You
just
see
like
that
making a
this
show.
old man is just like
of-
grinning. He knows something, and he's just watching you, having a great time, and he keeps like side-eyeing over to where the bartender is.
Kupo doesn't notice that he seems to be like happy about something, and Kupo is just getting ready to like put on a show.
Instantly, it's way better. Even without trying, your music is so much better. And you see a few of the patrons that are sitting here, they kind of perk up and look towards you. An expression of confusion spreading throughout the tavern. As this is going on, what is everyone else doing? The threshold is made open with the removal of Kupo.
I'm gonna go ask about the crabs, but I already said I was doing a thing, so I'll let Muse and Carnifex say what they're up to.
Carnifex doesn't really do anything special. He's gonna, I think, especially seeing Kupo rush off to play music, I think she's gonna go and find a seat, like a table with enough seats for all of us, within line of sight of Kupo, because one, they would like to see Kupo perform, but two, they also need to keep an eye on Kupo. So just takes a seat and watches and listens. And I guess I'm gonna like looking around, because I think as an acquired taste Kupo can be, most of the time the music is usually pretty much automatically taken with like a positive like reaction, but everyone's looking confused. So is there a way I can gauge why that's the case? Okay, inside. That is
Okay.
a
With a 15, you are very, very confident in Kupo's ability to perform. It's a good song, and Kupo is very talented. And you've heard this song before. It's usually a banger in the various taverns that y'all have been to. And you get the sense that maybe this is not the vibe. Maybe they're expecting something totally different. You noticed when you first walked in that the scratching sound of the metal strings just bing-bonging around, like, that didn't seem to bother anybody. So maybe that was the norm. And this is not the norm. It's not necessarily a negative thing. They're not, like, scowling or anything, but they're just like, what is going on? Huh? Yeah.
Okay. I get, what kind of tempo is it? Because I think, especially if it's a song that Carnifex has heard before, I'd like slam the table in tune to it, as like a drum kind of beat to go along, just because I think it's just a thing that they do with Kupo. And I think in general, when they've trained with fellow martials like fighters, and they would go to like the pub afterwards and end up singing fucking doing karaoke or something like that, usually drunk as hell. But so yeah, I think they see everyone confused but not like scowling at it, and then kind of just join in with Kupo.
Yeah, Kupo wouldn't start with like an original. You don't go into a new place and like, you know what I mean? So like Kupo would start with like something that is like as mass popular as possible, would be going for something upbeat, you know what I mean? Like that sort of
like the Taylor Swift of Krynn.
The sort of stuff you hear at weddings that all the like old people get up to and dance, like it's that tune. It's like it, and you're like,
the world
hit
like, classic, the Honey Bear. You know,
yeah,
everyone loves Honey Bear.
Yes.
Yeah,
everyone
absolutely.
loves Honey Bear.
So Carnifex begins to join in on this tempo here. What does Muse do?
I think Muse had paused in the foyer for half a moment, and they had almost like folded their arms up and underneath them as they looked up as this massive painting of the crabs, you know, kind of tilting their head back and forth, staring up at it. And I think like especially as Kupo's music begins, they tilt their head back and extend one stone hand forward to almost touch across the painting. And I would like to cast Minor Illusion to have the crabs almost peel themselves out and off of the painting. Like, they're still painted, but it's like the animation style kind of bleeds off of the painting. And will kind of like swirl up in the air and get like pretty, Minor Illusion has so many
you can do whatever you want.
rules about it, but Muse would kind of like, instruct them to be like these giant, like almost ghostly painted crabs that then would like go and circle around Kupo to kind of like also encourage the crowds. Like the painting kind of comes to life above their head as the music goes on. And Muse kind of looks and they go,
You
much
see,
better. And they'll sit down next to Carnifex.
No, you're good.
Sorry.
I love that. As soon as Carnifex begins to add to the tempo and then Muse casts the spell, you can definitely feel the energy of the room shift. People are also joining in, thumping their hands on the table, and there's a few wondrous gasps as they behold this magic, and they sort of lean back, their eyes wide, very clearly having never ever seen anything like this before. Meanwhile, all this is happening. Valanthe, you head up towards the counter, and you see the Ergothian woman kind of looking at you and saying, "Oh, what can I get you?"
I need to know the story about those crabs.
Of course you do. Well, it's just a silly old thing. It's so old, no one really knows the story of it. I happen to name them Fancy and Gorgeous George just for the fun of it. What are you doing? And you see them like crawling over the bar here and kind of stumbling as they're rushing over towards Muse. What are you doing to my crabs?
I'm sorry, can I help you with something? I just thought they should dance to the music. Don't you think this is a little bit more lively of an interpretation than the one you had on the wall? It was so stagnant.
I do like it. It's quite strange. I've never seen anything like it before. Oh, are you controlling them?
I'm letting the interpretation flow through me.
I'd like to hear, if you had to make up a story for this, what kind of story would you give it?
It would be a tragedy. Two brothers pitted against one another in a battle of epic proportions, where if either one falls, there is still heartbreak. There could be no happy ending to a battle like that, could there? It's rather sad when you think about it.
Nah. I don't like your story, but I appreciate you trying. A drink on me. What can I get you? And you see that... Go ahead.
That's alright. Not everyone can have good taste. I'll have the house tap.
I have to agree with you. I don't know why, but I just have an odd love for bad storytelling and inept musicians. Just kind of keeps things interesting, you know? Maybe if you lower your standards, then you're less likely to be disappointed, you know? Anyway, hey, and you see her nod over to Becklin, and Becklin kind of just sits down, gives a knowing nod. All right, I'll be back with something fun for you. And you see the woman gives a thumbs up towards Kupo and begins to shuffle towards the kitchen. And Becklin says to those seated, that was Yalme, the owner of the Brass Crab. She means well.
Why do I find myself rather insulted? And as Muse kind of finally sits down, their fingers curl, and the stone nails on their fingertips have like gotten slightly longer, and they almost like press the stone back into place as they kind of drum their fingers over the table.
Do you mind if I see this? Conflicts places a hand over yours and kind of gently squeezes it.
But of course, and they kind of breathe a longer sigh. We should enjoy the music.
Oh,
yeah.
I know my worth well without the
please
worth
don't
of others.
mind, Yalme. I think it's rather amazing. I enjoyed your tale myself. Yeah, I apologize on their behalf.
No need. Sometimes my temper gets the better of me. And they seem to, like, relax out of that mood that they had gotten themselves into for half a moment. And they go back to this kind of stoic, gentle quietness.
And Kupo, as you come to an end with your song around here, you hear clapping from pretty much the majority of the people here, and they begin to toss coins at your feet. Just like a showering of like coins.
Thank you. I'm glad you enjoyed it. I returned you now to your usual fare, which was certainly flavorful.
Well, seems like you've made quite an impact on the crowd here.
Thank you so much for letting me play a little bit.
You know. Gotta shake things up a bit sometimes. Keep things interesting.
And I share the coins that got thrown at me with the other bard. Well, but you know, I don't want to step on your toes.
I offered you my
mind.
seat. I just hope you have a good time the rest of your journey here in Volga.
Okay, I hope so too. And
but if you want to buy me a drink, I won't say no. And he sits down and is like, bing, bing, bing,
bing. Perfect. I go do that. I go to get him a drink.
So we'll essentially montage the rest of this evening here as we're getting closer to the time set for the funeral. Is there anything that anyone wants to do as you're kind of being served drinks and Becklin is telling you a little bit about the village and the quaint little quirky bits and bobs of this place?
I have a gay little desire if you would
yes.
humor me.
Absolutely. Please tell me.
I think as Carnifex puts her hand onto Muse doesn't move their hand away, even as their temper kind of subsides. And I think they actually keep their hands together and they take out that spell book that they were given, or the book that they were given at the trial. They flip it open, and they take a little piece of charcoal out of their coat, and they start to sketch Carnifex's hand and theirs together, just kind of out on the table, using it as reference, which is something that Carnifex would be quite aware was something that they used to do quite often, specifically drawing their hands, using them as an artistic reference.
Yes, I think at first it was definitely to help calm you down, but once they see that you pull out the book, you can tell that I guess like a very disciplined Muse, they make sure not to move so that Muse can get their sketch done. I think later on, somewhere in the evening, Carnifex would excuse themselves, and they would tell everyone why. I think they had I'm pretty sure commission's not the word for it, but they had a dress made for them for this occasion because they want to be in armor at a funeral, and they had it sent to a tailor here so they can collect it, because it's probably not great to carry a delicate, probably expensive dress a long journey, especially if you're prone to attracting danger. So they're gonna go to a tailor to collect that.
So when you're in the market where the tailor is, you find that there is a stall right next to it, and there is this really interesting vendor next door. You see that there is a Kender woman kind of leaning up. She's hoisted up on a number of boxes that are stacked on top of each other to serve as a chair. And in front of her are a number of intricate fishbone puppets in the designs of animals and sea serpents. So you have your dress, and you have your wares. You've just stepped out of the tailor.
Yeah.
And you see this interesting stall, and the market is just full of pretty much everything. You see that there's some fresh river fish, fishing supplies, crafts, local farm bounties and all manners of mundane equipment. This is a small town, so there aren't very many like weapons and armor or anything like that. But there is this one unusual stall.
Yeah. I think Carnifex does the thing where they kind of walk by and then do a double take. And when they do a double take, they kind of make eye contact with the vendor, and then it's kind of like, I made eye contact with you. I
they
have to
immediately
come and
like
look at
perk
your
up
stall
and
now.
they go, well, howdy, how are you? Welcome. You can see here, these are just freshly made. I made these this morning all by myself. The bones were picked freshly too. Oh, what's in the box?
It's a dress I had made for me. What is
These
all of
are
this?
fishbone puppets. I made every single one of them. Yours truly. They wiggle their fingers at you.
Incredible. I've never seen anything like these. What got you into making these? And I pick up one of them
Yeah,
just
you
to kind
pick
of
up
look
one
at it.
and you can see that this is a finger puppet that's supposed to resemble like an owlbear. Well, I don't know. I just have a crafty side to me, and you know, there's a lot of fish here because this is a fishing town, and like, you know, there's so many bones. No one really uses the bones for anything. I mean, I guess they kind of grind them down and make some bone meal for the farms nearby. But you know what? That's so boring, you know? And you can make instead something fantastic like this. And, you know, it's memorable. It's a nice little gift.
Yes, no, yeah, it is. And what ones do I see? What's the
So there's
array?
sea serpents, there's like bears, there's some birds. I don't know. There's a lot of different ones. There's a few of them that are like questionable
lot of different
design.
ones.
It's uncertain if it's like meant to be a question mark. Yeah, it's like
abstract or
what
bad.
kind of creature
Like,
has
it's like-
3
yeah.
eyeballs and like these like weird purple tentacle head things? I don't know. Oh, that's from my
Interesting, okay.
creative period on you know, on a full moon, just get overtaken by, you know, all sorts of inspiring energies.
I think when they say it on a full moon, they kind of lean in and just go, do you get particularly affected by any of the moons? Or is that just a turn off phrase?
What?
I will take that as a turn off phrase, okay, and then leans away. I will take this one. And
Okay.
I'll take the owlbear. The owlbear.
It'll
from the
be 1
puppet.
copper.
Yes. Do you do custom fitting? And I just show my enormous finger that I assume it probably
yeah,
doesn't
of course.
fit.
We got all kinds of folk that come in through here. And they gesture over to another part of their stall. You might be more interested in these ones. They're meant to fit larger hands.
Yes, I have this one then. And I'll take the larger version of the owlbear.
That one's pink.
And pay however many.
That one is 2 copper.
Perfect. And I'll just take out a silver and just give them a whole silver.
Wow.
Keep the change. My daughter actually will love this. So, and
Well,
I'm
all
up with
right.
it.
Well, you have a nice day.
You too. And yeah, I head back
And
to
then we
meet
kind of like
everyone
see
else.
the camera like pull back, and it has this like long wide shot of this Kender vendor, and they're kind of like slumped and bored, and you see that as the locals go by, no one else really stops at the stall.
No.
All right. Is there anything else anyone wants to do before we change the scene?
I told Kupo I like their song. Very, very like. Before I like get up to get another round of drinks, I'm like, good song. And I like get up.
I was like, like just it's my song.
I think it's one of those things where like Koopa doesn't see, but the camera sees Valanthe like
Aww.
grinning.
Secret grins. We love it. All
Oh.
right. Sad music.
Sad music, okay.
Dusk comes upon the village here. Those who are closest to Ispin Greenshield gather on the dock overlooking the Vingard River. There, Ispin's body rests in a small boat, his body wrapped in a shroud. A musician plays a soft song as the knight Becklin Uth Vinharn steps forward in her ornate Solamnic armor. She smiles gently at those assembled, and her voice carries clearly across the water. You all knew Ispin as a friend, and there were none like him. Before he died, he told me there should be tales, not tears, for an old scoundrel like me. Make sure everyone knows my stories when I head off on the greatest adventure of all. Becklin nods, and the villagers carrying the boat containing Ispin's body to the dock's edge, where she and another woman lower it into the water. So let's just do that. Becklin continues as a tiny vessel drifts out into the Vingard River. On the eve of the Kingfisher Festival, we celebrate you, Ispin. Good travels, friend, until we meet again. Art. As the camera pans over the group of you, you are joining the others in the crowd here. Becklin and this dark-haired woman are currently handling the ceremony. What do we see? Carnifex, what do you look like?
Yeah, so Carnifex has tied their hair up in a bun at this point, with a couple strands coming down at the front. They're wearing a simple black dress. It's fitted at the waist, scoop neckline, and laced above that. So lace shoulders and short sleeve with a black belt around the center with a golden buckle. And high heels exist, and high heels to add to their already incredible height. They are, I think this is the most I guess unarmed. They don't have any weapons on them, they don't have any armor on them. Above game, I would take the minus in the AC if need be, because I think it's been meant a lot to Carnifex, and I think showing their physical vulnerability as well as the emotional when they see Ispin sail off is their way of showing respect to a good and unexpected friend.
And what do we see when we look at Kupo?
Kupo is somehow the exact opposite and exact same as Carnifex, in that Kupo, who you know always seen in ruffles and fluff and color and stuff like that, has completely swapped their appearance, and you can see they are showing that underneath they actually do wear armor. And this was taught to them by Ispin. And instead, all of their musical instruments are put away, and they have a sword. And they take out the sword and they hold it out almost in a salute up in the air. And they do say out loud, as if speaking to Ispin, you know, you taught me to defend myself And then you sent me off with Valanthe because you knew she would show me how to fight for others too. So I'm good now because of you. More than I was. So. And then puts the sword away. And just steps back.
The camera slowly slides over to Valanthe. What do we see?
Valanthe is in their full armor, helm, everything. I think they have their like shield out and their sword is like pushed into the ground kind of thing, and they are standing stock still. And I think with Kupo next to them, maybe only Kupo notices because of the height difference, there are tears rolling like waterfalls out from the bottom of the helm. And she's standing quietly.
The camera slowly slides to Muse. What do we see?
Muse is standing quietly near the back of the crowd, and they look relatively the same, kind of stony expression on their face. But they have painted their dress, the stone dress that they wear. Literally, like, they spent all night awake painting it. And they painted scenes from the book that they illustrated with Isbin of these far off distant landscapes with rolling clouds and thunder and lightning and fire and the elements and these distant horizons with little figures just kind of on like the trim of their robe. Like they're traveling across this landscape of fabric and paint that kind of climbs up their body and eventually turns back into stone. Almost like it bleeds in and out of the stone itself.
As a long, somber moment passes by, Becklin clears her throat and straightens a bit. Now, if everyone would please join me, we have a reception at the Brass Crab ready for all of those who wish to join us in remembering Isbin Greenshield. This way. And you see the crowd begin to make that way. As you're approaching the Brass Crab, it looks like the entire village is here. You see that there are people pouring in, and the crowd of people is gently shifting as folk try to appreciate some of the bread and cheese and ale that's coming out for the attendees. Literally every single person that you've seen in the short time that you've been here are around, and it seems that Isbin is very well loved here. You see that the reception begins to start up rather quickly. Becklin calls for everyone's attention. All right, everyone. Isbin wouldn't have wanted it any other way. It's time to tell stories. You hear a throng of laughter and chuckles from everyone. Some people are kind of settling in. They're like, oh, this is going to be good. And they get comfy. Some people are like prepping themselves, and you can tell that they're practicing their words. And Becklin starts off by telling of a time where the High Sub-Senior Artillerist of Mount Nevermind launched her pet weasel all the way from the Gnome Enclave to San Crist Island, and then hired Isbin to recover the creature. And she begins to tell a few other charming stories about Isbin, and it is more or less passed around the various people here. Does anyone want to tell their story?
I think Kupo, still with their armor on the outside and like their weird ruffle shirt on the inside, in their weird opposite display of vulnerability, instead of telling a specific story about Ispin, launches into a song that they know that Ispin loved. That is the kind of song where on the surface it sounds like it's about battle and fighting, but it's actually a very dirty song that always like made Ispin laugh. And so all the fighting is all the weapons and the fighting is euphemisms. So if anyone like, this is the sort of song that like every once in a while, if you caught Ispin, he was like repeating a line of it because it was so, and like just chuckling to himself kind of thing. And so I sing the full song and I put like a big show on of this like ridiculous rowdy song that I know he loved.
This goes over very well. People are singing along and there's a jaunty tune to it, and the entire tavern is in a roar of laughter at its finish.
Can I like backpack off of that and see? I would love if I could borrow Muse for this, but I think Carnifex is singing along to it, like, this is a great battle song, hell yeah. And then Muse kind of like whispers in the ear what it means, and you see like the color, just like he turns red as he kind of stops singing and just stares at Cooper in like bewilderment and shock as they're like, is that why it's been kept? Oh, okay. Kind of like just goes into their head for a bit about that.
Cooper gives you the biggest
singing.
wink, like.
I love it. All right, anybody else want to tell a story?
I think the painting on Muse's clothes changes with every story. Like, it seems to mirror and reflect like what story is being told. And perhaps like during Kupo's song, they have to like very quickly like dish the magic away because it's a little, you know, it's a little raunchy on the dress, and they're like, okay, 1 second, and they like, you know, have to brush it down. But I think they at some point like stand up to tell a story about how they felt surprised getting a message at first about this because they were only ever a painter, but they chuckle and then continue. But nobody ever really only knew Ispin. It doesn't matter how long or how short your time with him was, you were always friends. And perhaps that is an honest and straightforward lesson that we should always keep. No matter where we are, perhaps it's better to make connections, and their eyes linger on Carnifex, than regret leaving one behind.
Carnifex makes eye contact with you as well, and I think I probably have a drink in front of me, so I raise it to my mouth to kind of hide the, I think, smile behind the pint, and I take a swig, and I will get then follow up.
As you begin to like get up
story.
to swap places with Muse, can I get a perception check from you?
Yeah. I wonder what this is about. Ouch.
Okay.
8?
With an 8, you'll get partial information here. You notice that with your speech here that there are many a wet eye and just like sniffles from the crowd. It's definitely moving. And as you're kind of looking around and you look directly at Carnifex and the two of you are sort of passing by each other, you catch in the corner of your eye someone who looks particularly interesting. You might have clocked them a bit earlier in that they have maintained themselves towards the fringe of the reception. They haven't been mingling with any people. You see a blue-skinned Sylvanesti elf, and they are shrouded in colors of mourning, and they look particularly somber, and they seem to look you dead in the eyes as you finish your speech. And there is a deep sadness in their expression, and they kind of tear their eyes away, as Carnifex sidles up to speak.
Ispin had a way of growing on you. I think many of us experienced that. He's almost like a barnacle that grows on the side of your ship, or a particularly persistent rash. No matter how much you try to get them away, they always seem to get back. But you always leave better with them. Our first meeting was honestly rather violent, I think, compared to most. I had come into possession of a Shadowfell shard, and I thought it was under and through fair purchase, but it turned out that the admittedly shady vendor that I'd bought it from actually stolen it from Ispin, and Ispin came to get what they were owed, I suppose, thinking that I was involved in some way with the theft, and we fought quite literally over the Shadowfell shard. We kept trading blows, reaching for the shard, and then I would drop it, and then they would jump for it, and when they get it, I would throw a punch, and then they would drop. It got quite a lot. We trashed a fair bit of furniture along the way before we spoke and realized that we were both we're both quite ignorant to what was actually going on, and it was funny, honestly. Beaten and bloodied, we sat down together and shared drinks and plotted to find the person who had stolen it from Ispin. And the journeys after that were annoying. Ispin, like I said, was one to get under your skin, but even before today, and especially today, I look back on those memories fondly. I would give anything to be annoyed by Ispin.
As you say that, there are more wispy looks and people sniffling and blowing their noses, and there's a few people who are just like ugly crying, and then you hear a "Oh, how boring. We've heard this 1,000 times." You see a young man dressed quite nicely, his feet up on a table nearby, and he's sloshing around a mug of ale.
My ancestors are talking to me right now, and they want to slap this.
Valanthe,
Who are you supposed to be? Huh? Are you another one of these adventurers? It's been this, it's been that. Whoa!
I knocked their feet off.
You see, as his feet like go flying off the table, he kind of hits his head against the table. He seems fine. He looks very startled, and he looks up at you. You see that his perfectly coiffed hair is now disheveled, and that he has spilled the ale on his clothes. He looks up at you, and he leans back in his chair.
Do you have a problem?
No.
Were you a friend of Ispin's?
I mean, everyone's a friend of Ispin, right?
Then I would ask you to keep your manners while we share in our friend's life. Before I forget myself.
Everyone vulgar can easily tell a joke, but can't take one, huh? All right. And he just kind of like,
I am not from vulgar.
all right. I hear you loud and clear.
Carnifex, were you done?
Yes, I was. Thank you, Balance.
And you
And I would take a seat and just like stare daggers at this guy.
He seems to cower underneath the weight of your stare, and he puts a coin down on the table, and he slips out of the tavern.
I'd like to ask Becklin, who
You see Becklin kind of swerving towards the group of you, and she has her arm over the dark-haired woman that was alongside her at the wharf, and she says, "Oh, don't mind Bakaris. He's just like his father. They're just, you know the type. Too much money and not enough manners."
I do. He was a friend of Ispin's.
I wouldn't say that, but you know who is a friend of Ispin, and she gestures to the woman, and you see that this woman has a bit of a rugged look to her. You can see that her armor bears very many scrapes and scars, and she has a few like really jagged lines, like half of her eyebrows missing, but like in the sexy way, and like you see that she's not wearing gloves right now. They're tucked into her belt, and you see that her hands are super calloused and very muscular fingers, you know. And then she says, "Hi, nice to meet you. You can call me Cudgel. Cudgel Iron Smile."
Okay. Pleasure to meet you, Cudgel Iron Smile. I'm Villain Fred Shields.
Yes. And Becklin claps her on the shoulder. "Very good friends with Ispin. The three of us went traveling and adventuring quite often together. A very close friend of mine."
Oh, okay. Lovely. That's lovely. That's great.
You see Cudgel look you up and down and says, "You look like a strong sort. I own a company of mercenaries known as the Ironclad Regiment. They're currently stationed outside of the village. I didn't want them to bother any of the local folk here. It's a small company, but we've built a reputation for beating odds. And, what do you say to a friendly arm wrestle?"
Me.
Yeah, look at you. Strong.
Valanthe still has the helm on, but is definitely blushing underneath. Sure.
The dwarven woman moves over to opposite of you. It's her arm down, elbow down. All right.
I put mine down.
Don't hold back.
Certainly.
Give it all you got.
Muse is getting prime real estate to watch this event. Just so we're all aware. Like frantic sketching.
All right.
Muse feral.
Kupo starts playing some like fighting music and like is so tempted to give Valanthe inspiration, but knows that she wouldn't want to like cheat. So it's like internal debate.
When Cudgel's like, don't go easy, Valanthe is like, "Oh, I've never held back a day in my life.
I've never met anyone that could beat me.
First time for everybody."
Bring it on. All right, I need an athletics check from you.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my
is
god, what
this?
is happening?
Wow. Okay.
Cool.
I rolled a
got,
4.
25. Sick.
Just for a
First
little
one for
bit of
everything, like I
narrative
said.
fun, like, no, actually, no. You get to decide whatever you want. You obviously beat her. The manner of which how you want to put on this show is all up to you.
I think it is like she's struggling now. And I look at Kupo and I say, "Have we started yet?"
I play a like comedy note, like didn't.
Oh, so I should stop this
like-
combat
Oh,
music.
we have, and I just
Boonk.
And I-
Or boonk, this way. You just I see she is blushing. Huh.
Hmm.
Can I buy you a drink?
You can get my friend Kupo a drink.
Which one's Kupo?
And I point at Kupo.
Hi. Okay.
Hi. I might be small,
Right.
but I'm gonna need the biggest drink.
Okay. And she stumbles away, looking very flustered.
Did you have to end it so soon? I was starting to enjoy that. I couldn't hear you, Austin, but
Oh, she told me not to play, so I didn't play.
she was flirting with you.
Oh, I'm aware. I have my intentions elsewhere, let's say.
Wait, can I roll insight on that?
I will give
Just
Austin the agency here.
You can certainly attempt. If I have agency, I will set the
absolutely,
DC.
100%.
Done. I rolled a 15.
Nah, I got a helmet on.
That is so fair. Muse is obviously searching your face. Searching your mask, rather. It's very clear that they're looking for something. You always play your cards so very close to your chest.
You should draw a picture. It lasts longer.
Trust me, I did.
Becklin is like, well, all right. I do have a gift for all of you. If you don't mind, in the morning, could you come to Thornwall Keep?
Yes, I had business there anyway.
Right. That was that place we were supposed to go.
Yes. I then catch Becklin up on
Yeah, so
what
Becklin is
happened
just,
on
like,
the road,
nodding and
'cause I never
says,
told-
I'm the steward at Thornwall Keep.
Oh, well,
Sorry.
we've
Mhm.
have business
Yes,
there in the morning now
absolutely.
to get this gift.
Well, you just enjoy the rest of your meals and your drinks and the festivities. The gift is from Ispin himself, and we will speak more on this frightful experience that you had out on the road. But let it leave your mind for now.
Certainly. Actually, if it doesn't bother the rest of you, I will be retiring. I'll take my food upstairs. And
Yep.
I'm going to motion to leave if anyone
Yeah, you
has
all get the
anything
sense
else.
that the party is beginning to wind down at this point. Is there anything anyone else wants to do before we close off the session?
I don't know where rooms are situated, but I do go upstairs.
Okay,
and
so
horribly.
it's a one-story building,
That's what
and then
I'm
there.
doing. Incredible. I go.
You
I go
climb
into
up on the
back.
roof.
No, I was like, I
Okay,
go
yeah.
to my room and like cry. So that is what.
We have this like
the
really
link goes to
cinematic
do,
shot of like
and not
so
know-
the way that the building is made is it looks like a crab, so it's kind of like a central building, and then it's got legs. Yeah. So we just see like in the windows of one of the crab legs, just Valanthe crying.
Yeah, like armor, armor on the dress form, like crying on the side of their bed.
Anyone else?
If I may, I think at some point in the night, a picture gets slid underneath Valenthe's door, and it's a like sketch portrait of her with Isbin and their mom. Kind of like the three of them together smiling with each other. And Muse doesn't knock or anything, and they're gone from the hallway if Valanthe like chooses to open the door.
I pick it up and look at it for a bit, and I go lean it like against my helm on the nightside table or whatever, and do like one big sigh. Okay, and then go to bed.
Oh, my heart. I think I go to my room, and I already have my armor and stuff piled away since I got dressed, and I get changed into my nightwear. And I think as I'm getting changed, I pull out that finger puppet and set it down by the nightstand as well, and just say, I miss you, Espen. I think you would have. My daughter would have loved you. I'm sad she didn't get to meet you. And then I'll get into bed and fall asleep.
Kupo stays up as long as there is anyone around and kind of goes around trying to collect stories from everyone, because they really want to have as many stories as possible from as many different people as possible that knew Ispen.
I don't think you get any sleep that night. Every single person has a story of Ispen, and you can tell from this collection that you build that Ispen was a very wonderful person, and he touched very many lives, even in the smallest of ways. He found a home here in this middle of nowhere place, but it was meaningful, and it was gentle, and it was kind. And every story, however silly and over the top it is, every single one of them is a little bit heartbreaking. So by the time you finish, the first rays of dawn are creeping on the horizon. You see the water turning orange with the coming light. All
I
right,
have something really
your
sad.
turn.
Oh my god.
So Kupo doesn't go to bed, right? So what Kupo never finds is a rose on their bedside table that sits as the rays of sunlight come across it. That has a little note that says,
I think,
from the
like,
rose.
There's this moment of the cleaning staff later on in the day where they come and they're like, oh, what's this? Oh, one of the people must have left it behind. And it just gets cleaned up.
She can't keep getting away with this.
Fun.
I think Muse sets up like an actual canvas in their room, and they sit on a little stool in front of it, and they look at the blank canvas, and they close their eyes, and whisper into the wind, "My muse, guide my hand." And if you'll allow me to be a little feral, Muse will just open themselves up to their patron, to instinct, to history, to the way of magic, to anything and everything. And they'll just let their hand move across the painting. And they want to paint the moment that Isbin died.
Oh. No one else hears this. Only you do, as you are moved. Hold on, I'm trying to find the music. You see your hand just gently making these very soft strokes. Your paint glides across the canvas with ease. Your art is supernatural. You don't need water and you don't have to worry over minor things like paint or pressure. When you let your patron take over, you almost feel the softest of a touch. The pressure adding to your palm here as it guides like a dance, almost like a ballet, just gently moving across the canvas. You hear a voice almost behind you. You know that there's no one there, but it's just on the edge of your perception.
Isbin was a good man. He lived honorably, and so he died the same. He died among friends, and he did not pass alone. His death was a good death. But I need you to be careful. Something strange is afoot.
And all of a sudden, your hand jerks with a bit of violence. You feel almost as if you're fighting something, and you begin to make erratic movements across the canvas, and you can feel the pressure. It is splintering the hairs on your paintbrush. And as you've opened your eyes to witness it, you see that the paint is blood red. And you see what was underneath a very calm and pristine image of Isbin among flowers, among faces of people that he loves. All of a sudden, it's just red, 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 red. And as you feel the presence of your patron leave you, there's a coldness to the air. You are alone in your room, and as you kind of take a step back to look at what you've painted, it almost looks like fire. And that is where we're going to end our session for tonight.
Oh my god.
What?
It'll be fine, I think.
I set myself up and you knocked me down just like I hoped you would.
So, we won't find out tonight how Muse is feeling, but in the morning that comes, we see people waking with smiles and laughter filling the streets of this village. The very many banners and decorations hung all throughout as the Kingfisher Festival begins. A day that no one will ever forget.
They can't keep getting away with
What
this.
does that mean? That means something else now. With all
It'll
of
be
that.
fine. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. All right. We're gonna go around and say good night. Please tell me who you are, where we can find you, and what your favorite part of today's session was. And we'll start off with Drac.
Hi, I'm Drac, or Draconics. I am one of the many who are screaming at Stella right now. You can follow me on Twitter at Draconics, that's DRAKONIQUES. It's the same honestly everywhere on Instagram, Hive, Twitter, Tumblr, any other social media that pops up as the eventual heat death of Twitter comes to pass. I played Carnifex, the Goliath Warlock. I don't know. Follow me on there. Or follow me on Twitter to find out what I'm doing at any given moment. My favorite part. God, I had so many. I was like, okay, cool. I have 3 favorite parts. Nope, 4, 5. Okay, cool. 6 now. Because I know someone's gonna say, I'm not gonna say Muse's painting just now. So I'll leave that for other people. But I loved the just the weird little finger puppets. Like, I don't know if you had that planned or just like spur of the moment.
No,
It was like,
it's in the
okay,
book.
cool, finger puppets.
It's in the book.
It was so
Yeah.
weird to me. It was in your book. Okay. It was so weird to me. I was like, that is so odd. Okay,
I
I'm
think
gonna
it'd be fair
engage
to
in
say
it.
that Carnifex would see the Kender vendor at the funeral. You'll know that her name is Froswin.
Froswin. What
No.
does that mean anything to me? Froswin. Okay. But yeah, Froswin. I love Froswin. They're so weird. I want to know their story. But also, I'm sorry, there's more. But also, I really, I loved Kupo and Valanthe's like introduction. I think that immediately told me exactly who they were and what they were to each other, and it was so funny. It was just so funny, especially the contrast of like Muse and Carnifex flirting with each other in a test that was meant to be taken seriously, but they were kind of like just kind of vibing, honestly, for the most part. And then switching over to Cooper and Valanthe, with Cooper just annoying the hell or annoying, and judging from the rose later on, annoying the hell out of Valanthe with the playing, and Valanthe's being like, wow, I don't know how I lost you. It was weird. Wow. that killed me. So good. And also just finally get to play with Austin, because we haven't played yet, despite being in this like same circles for literally years. So it was bound to happen. The planets finally aligned, and I'm
Excellent.
happy
Thank you,
for
thank
it.
you. Yes. It was really hard to choose who to be in this game, and I'll be totally honest, I was super selfish. I was like, I can be selfish just this once. And like every single person except Drac, this is the first time that you're on my channel, and I was like, it's about time. Like, we've been kind of like doing this like circling each other and like, you know, meeting through other friends and stuff, and I was like, it's time. This is it. This is time. We'll have all the messy gay shit together. So thank you so much, everyone, for being here, and we'll hand it over to Fawn.
Hi, I'm Jess, or Fawn and Games in most places online. You can find me at Fawn and Games on Twitter until like Drax said that burns down. Judging by Muse's painting, might be very soon. But yeah, I stream a variety of things over on my channel, twitch.tv/Fawn and Games, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Lots of video games, and then on special occasions, because I don't have as much amazing skill and battery and just spell slots as Stella, so like only sometimes do I do TTRPGs. But exactly like you said, I'm so happy. Thank you so much for inviting me to this game. This has been I am so happy that I got to play with everyone here. I'm so glad I got to play on your channel. I'm so glad I got to play in one of your games. So this was so amazing. There's too many great moments. I have to throw it over to like, I'm just gonna keep copying Drac. Like your opening, like Muse and Carnifex, just like you said that it was this like test, but you two were so just smooth and chill and like comfy and vibing in it. And the fact that you already knew each other well enough that, you know, Muse goes to like, I'm just gonna do this thing, and Carnifex like, no, up too late. Like, well, it's so perfect. I love that. But obviously my most favorite moment is the fact that Austin broke my heart. Broke it into pieces. It's gone now. It's broken. So many pieces with that reveal that Koopa will never find that rose that was waiting for them. Ugh. I cry forever now. Good night, bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next we have Austin.
Hey, what's up? My name is Austin. My pronouns are he, they, she. I just got done playing Valanthe, Red Shield, whose pronouns are she, they. Sorry, I do that in every show I'm on. I forget where I am. You can find me over at Twitter at SailorSctAustin. That's Sailor SCT Austin. It's also on Hive at Sailor SCT Austin. Also on TikTok. I don't get on TikTok a lot, but I am in a lot of Connie's TikToks. You'll see me being like that here. My favorite part, I guess, yeah, one, I got to play with 3 people I've never played with before tonight. Incredible. I love it. I love that for me personally. 2, I did really enjoy breaking everybody's heart. C will let you know throughout the rest of the transplanted recordings, I find a way how I can hit people over the head with a steel chair of emotions. So just to let you know, I'm not done. I will keep getting away with it, and you're all on alert.
Thank you.
I've said it once before, I've said it again. They can't keep getting away with this.
Awesome. Thank you.
See, it's you. It's your turn.
Is it me? Okay, hi. Yeah, okay. Okay, hi, it's me. Hi, everyone. My name is C. I use they, them pronouns. You can find me making very trans, very gay art on the internet at PieSharpArt. If you liked what I did here tonight, you'll like what I do other places. So you can find me over there at PieSharpArt and /or CPlays on Hive and Tumblr. So check me out over there if you want to see what I'm up to. As Austin mentioned just a little bit, I am a co-producer and cast over on Transplaner RPG, which is, if you don't already know, an all-transgender person of color led 100% homebrew D&D 5th edition actual play livestream set in a non-colonial anti-Orientalist world. We have over 200 hours of content for you to listen to in podcast, YouTube, VOD form, all highly edited and polished down to a easily consumable length. We also have a written recap document, so if you're like, what are you talking about? That's literally so much. There's 1-page recaps for literally all of that. And there are like 3-page recaps of entire arcs, if you don't even want to read that much. So come check us out. We just had our Arc 7 finale tonight. So go check out the VOD. Me and Austin are in it. It's literally extremely feral. So check that out. See what's up. We are heading into our finale arc. We have 8 more episodes left of The Second Stranger, which is our first flagship campaign. So that is very big. That's my TTRPG. That's like my bread and butter. So I'll talk about it a lot. And I've talked about it enough. So check me out online if you want to see what else I'm up to. Thank you so much for having me, Saw. And my favorite part of this session, because oh my god, it was so good. I loved being so gay with all of you all the time. So just that, first of all. But my favorite part of the session was gathering back in the Crab Tavern. Actually, the first time, and seeing what we all did immediately upon being in the tavern, and having Kupo start the song, and Carnifex joining in, and Valanthe going to like get the crab information for Kupo, and like doing the thing with the painting. I thought was a really, really nice way to see all the characters interacting, and it made my heart really warm. I'm like, ah, yes, we are a party. In fact, we are in fact a party. I really loved that moment. And thank you so much, Stella, for inviting me. I adore literally everyone here on screen, and I feel so excited and grateful to have played this amazing game.
Thank you. If this is the first time that you're meeting me, hello, I'm Stella Luna on Twitch and Hive, Stella Luna TV on all other social media. You can find pretty much everything that I'm doing over on my Twitter and my Hive accounts. That's where I'm most active. And if you want notifications for when we go live, we do a bunch of different TTRPG stuff at this channel. Following us is a free way you can help support the channel and get those notifications. I just want to say again, shout out to all of our Patreons. Because of our Patreons, I get to pay my bills and do this as a full-time content creator. And I just want to say thank you so much to all of our wonderful cast members. I love each and every one of you. And it was really hard to try to... I'm really glad that we went this way. Because just to be like really transparent, like it starts getting really juicy after this point. But it's like the funeral brought everyone together, and like I thought it would be a disservice to just kind of gloss over that and like the little bits of lore in the beginning to kind of give you an idea of what to expect from the Order of the Mages and what to expect from these strange beings that are beginning to make their way into the land of Anslon here. And you'll just have to tune in next time to see what happens. Have a good night, everyone. Bye!